I actually don't know whether we feel the doom and gloom enough. That may surprise you, but I really feel like the main problem of our time is that we're so disconnected from each other and from nature that we don't actually feel a lot of the time. And this is a result of a scientific, cultural evolution that teaches us about being objective, which is really important. We do need to be objective about things, and science is going to come up with more solutions all the time for the technology problems that we have. I think there's something behind the actual reconnecting to nature and to each other in a new way, and also to ourselves, so that we make decisions that will make a difference. We are polarizing now, and I don't think that we could have all the best solutions in the world, and if we continue to be polarized and out of touch with ourselves and out of touch with each other, what's the point? So I want you to just imagine for a moment 2030 comes and we failed. 2030 comes and humanity is gone. Just imagine that. All the extinction of many animals. Nature will survive, right? It will come back. But we have a particular role. Whether we're self-righteous about it doesn't really matter, but we have a particular role of stewardship on the planet. What we grew up with about money stays with us. It's very hard to change that. I grew up on 1,000 acres of farmland in Connecticut. How many people have that? And I could go anywhere I wanted to. And I could swim in our brook, and people from the town might be fishing there, and I could tell them they couldn't really be there. And that was sort of weird. Charles Tiffany was my great-grandfather. He didn't start with wealth. He just had an appreciation for beautiful things, and he gathered them in his Greenwich Village off the boats from China, and people noticed that he had a great eye, and it grew into a big business. And his son became a jeweler and created what is now known as Tiffany and Company. So that's where the money came from, and I'm the 5th generation, so there wasn't any really much left by the time I got there. So I left Yale after 2 years and studied biodynamic agriculture and became a farmer for 10 years because I wanted to come back to the farm and run it. And I wanted to do it in a sustainable way, and I don't know exactly where that came from, but I just fell in love with the idea of an ecosystem that is artistic and beautiful at the same time, which is what a biodynamic farm is. So 10 years of farming, I gave the rest of my inheritance to a nonprofit that we started, and it's an agricultural community with young people with learning differences. It's still going together today very well. It started in '78, and I was pretty young when I raised the money for it. I realized this money is so powerful. So we're here. Money for good is the purpose of this conference. For good means forever, right? That's my money story. What I've done in the last 20 years is trying to connect people with their money so that they can see their whole portfolio, not just 5% that they give away and have fun with, and then they think Merrill Lynch or whoever, I don't know what name it is anymore, Bank of America, actually owns their money and they get a little bit of play money that they do philanthropy with. I really believe that this is one of the biggest problems of our time. Everyone in this room is connected with some money. Even if you're not rich yourself, you all know somebody, but you have your own money biography to overcome. You have your issues about money. You do need to protect your resources, of course. Think about the relationships you have with money, and think about how you can influence them, because you carry this caring, this relationship with the planet and with humanity. So we don't want to be replaced by androids with drones that shoot the old-fashioned human beings, because they're going to self-program themselves. We also don't want the nuclear option to happen. How is that not going to happen? It's going to not happen by having a healthy economy around the world, right? It's all of the terrorism and everything is really because money is not moving. So we really need to think about that locally and globally. It's a world economy. Just think about it. Thank you.